Hi, my name is Stormy Rasco, and I've chosen to do my presentation on the key trends and significant challenges on the Horizon Report 2014 K-12 edition. Rethinking the roles of teachers. Teachers and students are increasingly expected to be able to adapt to new technologies inside the classroom. Teachers are now heavily relying on a variety of technologies to deliver course materials, communicate with parents, monitor coursework, and other things. As these expectations rise, some teachers are arguing their role in the classroom. Some believe that they are now seen as facilitators who merely monitor their students' independent learning. Others, however, view the various technologies that they use as tools that enable them to complete tasks in a more timely manner. The increasing pressures of needing to learn how to use these new tools while also teaching a class is creating tension among some. However, professional development hours and training are a way to diminish the frustration that some teachers may have. The major part of being successful in the modern age classroom is finding an appropriate balance. Rethinking how schools work. Along with rethinking the roles of teachers, the roles of schools are now being viewed from a different perspective due to the influence of innovative learning approaches. Having students sit at a desk for 6 hours while covering the curriculum on a whiteboard is now seen as a thing of the past. As school becomes more student-centered, administrators are now working to make the traditional setting more flexible. For example, schools are now being encouraged to rethink their school calendars and overall setting. While the face-to-face formal learning style is still deemed necessary, schools are also being encouraged to offer students with informal and relaxed learning settings where the students can implement the use of technology for independent learning. Increasing use of hybrid learning designs. As teachers and students become more digitally fluent, hybrid learning models are becoming more common. While there are many advantages to this style of learning, there are also many demerits. For example, when the student-centered learning becomes dependent on the internet, the chances of plagiarism and source credibility can be a major issue. If a student gains information from an inaccurate source, it can lead to other issues. The teachers will then need to go back and reteach the student correctly, causing double the work for both the teacher and the student. The student is also vulnerable to cognitive overload. You can research one thing on the internet and gain insights from 100 different perspectives. Hybrid learning models can sometimes be viewed as challenging for both teachers and students. Safety of student data. Although there are currently acts in place to protect student data, such as FERPA, the increase in innovative resources used in schools is causing concern among administrators. Many of the tools used in classrooms monitor student learning and create personalized software. Although the intention is beneficial for the students, third-party vendors cause a threat to the safety of student data. The evolution of hybrid learning models are advancing much more quickly than the acts regarding the protection of personal data. Competition from new models of education. Newer models of education are bringing competition to schools. This is an especially challenging concept for students who weren't progressing with the current system. While some districts are on board with the new technologies, others are viewing them as a rejection to the current methods of formal education. Some students find it more challenging than others to adapt to these newer models of education. Disadvantaged students are being expected to keep up, but how can they keep up when they were not on task beforehand? Keeping formal education relevant. Technology can be a wonderful resource for educators, but should it take their place? As technology evolves, teachers are seeing more of it in their classrooms. The issue boils down to one question: what does a formal education offer that cannot be replicated by other sources? For example, many parents and educators believe that certain behaviors and morals are learned in a traditional classroom setting. Resilience in a child is not something that can be taught on an iPad. So, what is an appropriate balance? That is the question administrators are faced with when funding new technologies for their classroom. When is it too much? This concludes my presentation.